Nice.
Which so amazing.
Sounds it, I think.
Hey!
Hello, everybody. Here we are playing The Fading 2 weeks in a row. Nice. Yay! We might almost remember who any of the characters are called or anything, and what the point of the plot is. Yay!
Yay!
We have no idea what the plot is. You're the only one who knows what the plot is.
Yay!
Awesome. Hit the recap, Nathan.
Oh, we want to hit that straight away.
Oh, okay. Yes.
So we
Let's hit
can.
that
Here we
straight
go.
away.
Ready?
Yay!
Smash
go.
that recap button.
Well, things have developed. Heading off into the cold wasteland with poor Eostra, whose feet quickly became cracked and chilblained, lifted onto the shoulder of her good friend. They made their way through the coldness. They tried to get to the mountains of the kin of Faradus, but plodding their way through the cold didn't work, with hilarious consequences, in fact. They eventually found the farm home of our wonderful friend John's character Eustace. Turning just a perfectly run-of-the-mill bullying situation, perhaps with extortion, into an instantly violent and ultimately deadly confrontation. Eustace's mother was killed tragically. They are going to take Eustace's mum's corpse to the Church of Eostra, just to the west of the forest that separates that little sliver of civilization from this farm. The party has settled down in the farmhouse. Did Eostra poison herself irrevocably? Is she going to violently wake up in the middle of the night with blood and bile coming from her throat, or will she survive? All these things and more will be revealed, including what the party shall loot to provision themselves for the rest of the perfect journey.
I just love the welcome to next time, where we're going to be putting people in graves and going to the toilet with incredible diarrhea. Dice Thomas.
Hooray! Hooray!
Hooray!
Epic recap.
Everybody make a colostomy roll.
Ooh.
Fantastic.
So, I think you said something about loot. Is that
yes?
right?
Before you go to bed, in preparation for leaving in the morning, I suppose you have wrapped up the body of John's character's mum or stepmother, and has stored that outside, I suppose, or in the barn where it's secure from vermin and wolves.
Yeah, somewhere where it's cold and secure. The
Are
fridge.
you going to? I also
wagon.
told you last week that you would. I'd be happy.
We have
for
a
you
cold
to,
room, I imagine, where we would
Yes.
store meat.
Yeah, that's right.
Like, would there be an area where meat is kept for the winter
Definitely.
or the summer or something?
Yep. Absolutely.
I don't know.
You
I don't know
you
old
wrap,
things.
Gen-
Murray would know.
you wrap
generally
the
on
poor
hooks.
woman's body in canvas.
I don't.
Oh, we hook her up then. If that's Murray's a historian, that's how we do it.
How do
We'd
you
certainly
store
keep
meat?
her free from vermin. Yes, absolutely.
So we hook her up
Yep. Okay. Wow.
Give her the hookup.
respectfully.
Anyone may also propose things that they reckon they would find in a fairly poor farmhouse that they might like to add to the equipment.
Did they grow their
Chariot.
own vegetables?
Yes, there's a good store of vegetables, including mushrooms, which you have to be very careful to cook multiple
That's
times.
true.
Before you
Actually,
consume
it's a
them.
mushroom farm.
Oh.
So
mushroom farm.
yeah, that's the predominant thing that was grown here.
So it was a
farm.
drug dealer.
Really? What was your main? Yeah, what was your main source of income?
So,
I can't say because I wasn't there long enough, so I'm
Right.
not very good at mushrooms. But that was what they grew.
Um,
Is that okay, Ben?
that's fine. It's
What
peculiar,
about-
but for good.
What about warm weather clothing? Can we find some more warm weather clothing and shoes, perhaps?
Oh yeah.
Cold weather clothing.
Cold weather
Yeah, I think
clothing. Warm clothing.
I think we're going to loot his mother's wardrobe. So he's going to be wandering around,
We're gonna be-
reminded constantly of his mum, because we're all going to be looking like her. As
Sandals
we
and
wander around in
shorts.
her clothes.
It's all summer
So
clothes.
I
it's
find
only
a lovely set of pearl
Eostra.
earrings.
It's only Eostra that's missing shoes. So you sort of
Yeah.
grab her some shoes.
Yep.
if she'll deign to wear them.
Her feet match
Is there
the
any
mother's
rope?
side.
Yeah,
She's
there's
she's
rope.
not feeling very well. She's kind of got some stomach cramps and things. So you bring her shoes, and she's just groans and moans, and you slip them on her feet. Her feet look pretty terrible. There's some definite blacking on the tips of her big toes, and there's some cracking open and things. A little bit of weeping. But she's not really
Can I
noticing that because
do
she's
a
kind of doubled over.
medicine
Mm-hmm.
check on that?
Mm-hmm.
Try and remedy that slightly.
Yeah. Don't get too close. She'll explode again. She can't control herself.
Right. Yes, she seemed to be
Explode?
flying across the room, didn't she?
Remember
yeah.
I went to heal her and she went,
She ain't gonna get any healing. Yeah. All right.
yeah. Did you want healing? Because you can't get it.
So you're doing a
that'll be an
medicine check to determine
18
what's
on a
wrong?
medicine check. 18
Yeah.
on a medicine check.
Ooh.
You some part of who you are, or at least who Aressa is, knows the dangers of being out in the cold and not taking care of your feet. And yeah, she's definitely got her a case of frostbite on her toes. So really just wrapping them up and keeping them warm, and then also sterilizing the open wounds would be quite important.
All right.
And you didn't have access to healing magic or anything like that. So there are probably herbs you can gather in the forest and things like that, which might be useful. You normally carry them on you.
I have a herbalism kit, but I don't have a herbalism kit, if that's what you mean.
That's right. You don't have your herbalism
I will go and
kit?
make myself a herbalism kit with gathering things from the nearby
Okay.
In a
trees.
small
cool.
farm,
Yeah.
you'd be able to find a lot
Yeah.
of what you need.
Yeah. Okay.
they'd be
Let's say
pretty
you've got kind of a-
self-sufficient.
Yeah.
All right, you
let's say
wanna-
you've got
you wanna
75%
survival?
chance. Yeah.
Survival?
Yeah. Give me survival to sort of loot the herb cupboard and
Murray takes his copy of Maelstrom out into the yard.
Yeah, absolutely.
Absolutely.
I just take out my Maelstrom card and
It was, though, right where the stable was.
That's all right.
all right. My survival roll is
Player v
a
player.
17.
a 17. Yeah. Okay. So let's say you have 75% of the stuff you'd normally have in your herbalism kit. So you've got a 75% herbalism kit. So if you need to do a certain thing, you're going to have to roll, at 75% chance
Okay.
of success.
Easy.
But
I'm just going to equip myself with my herbalism kit because
Good,
I haven't had
nice.
to do that yet. Although
Yeah.
we did get some short swords off them, didn't we?
yes.
We
Yes,
did.
everyone has the short swords
Good.
now.
Yeah.
Do we have a mule or an ass or something
Wouldn't that
like
have been in the
that-
stable?
Is it trapped underneath all the things, or is
Yeah.
it dead?
It was only the apron of the stable that collapsed, so I think the mule
Yeah.
would probably be fine. Yeah,
What's the mule's
absolutely.
name?
And it can also pull a cart. So there are a couple of carts. If you do some work pulling off the wood and clearing it out, you can probably get this sort of little buggy cart working again. And that would be
Okay.
very useful for carrying the body to the town,
Okay.
for sure.
Save Lorcal from carrying it.
Is there room on the cart for two?
Probably, yes. The mules, sort of like to complain, but yeah, someone little.
Perhaps we could get Jerkle to carry her to the town.
Who?
Jerkle the mule.
Oh, do you mean Pewdie?
Jerkle the mule.
I think Lorcal and Jerkle are going to be good friends.
We'll be buddies for sure.
I love it.
Unfortunately, the wheels aren't too good on the. Is it a wagon?
Yeah, it's a little buggy, so it's got two wheels and wooden poles that poke out. So it's
One
like
of the wheels had to be replaced, and I'm afraid that one of the wheels is smaller than the other.
though it drags sort of to one side a bit. That's cool.
Can we do
Good. So you got
mending on the
yourself
wheels?
you get yourself a buggy and a mule. Excellent. And 75% of a. So do you tend to Eostra's feet?
Yes.
Give me that medicine check again to tend to her.
Oh no, not this time. Oh dear. I rolled a 2. So with my fabulous bonus, it's a 5.
So you don't really. There's a couple of particular herbs that you'd normally want for this sort of situation to close up these wounds and make sure they don't get infected,
All right.
which just aren't available.
I'll back
Perhaps
away just in
as you
case you-
travel. Perhaps as you travel tomorrow, especially since you're going to go into this wood that's supposed to lie before the town. Perhaps you'll find the herbs you want. So keep an eye out
All right.
for sure.
Will do.
Who else has any sort of equipment they'd particularly like to find?
I have a thieves kit I wouldn't mind grabbing. So scavenging like bobby pins and things off my
Well-
old mother's
And
belongings.
Needleware.
you've spent some
Needleware,
time,
yeah.
some months, causing trouble and breaking into people's barns and doing things, whatever it was that sort of motivated these bullies to attack you in particular with particular vehemence. So you have some of this equipment already. So you definitely got a thieves kit. Yep.
And Johnny said rope, didn't you? Because I
Rope?
do
Yeah,
have a
just
particularly
like the kind of
a rope
classic
I'm very
stuff.
fond of. that
Yep,
you can
okay.
you can have.
Good. You take that rope. That's excellent.
We
It's
believe
got
it's
blood on it, Johnny. Just a little bit of blood around.
Did any of those thugs wearing? Was there any of those thugs wearing armor?
You mean the children?
Yes, there was a
bullies.
I think I announced it, and it was like studded leather armor
Yeah,
was
that-
on human-sized studded leather armor, and that went to someone, didn't it?
Wasn't me.
Who's human size?
I think I have it
Wasn't
written
me.
down on my character sheet, but I don't know if it went to me.
I
there's
think it
only
did with
one
you.
person who is human size.
Okay.
and I don't
Yeah.
use armor.
No, so you could probably fit that on-ish, Murray.
Okay.
If you're able to wear studded leather armor,
I can. I'm yes.
go for it. It takes a little bit of sort of modding and folding up of bits, and it's a little bit uncomfortable. You can work on it into the future. You know, cut off
Alright.
some bits and adjust the straps and things. But it was
Cover the bits. That'd be good.
Okay. Cover the bits. Absolutely. I
No
am.
pants.
Anything else anyone can think of that might be in a poorly provisioned,
Like
yet
just
somewhat
tinderbox,
cozy?
torches.
Yeah, I was gonna say
Lanterns.
Yep.
some
A shovel.
bits
Tin-
of wood.
Tinderbox.
Water skin, mess kits.
Repair kit, like for the
Yeah,
for the
I'm not going to
wheels
say
and
no
everything.
to any of that stuff. That's good. I'm going to say yes.
Warhammer,
to that stuff. That
A
sounds good.
long
Shield.
longbow,
No longbow.
leather armor,
So
No
many.
armor.
rations.
A
Cake.
warhammer.
Character.
Cake fork. So no.
We
So,
have
so that's sort
Mushroom
of,
rations.
you can take you can take enough rations, yes, to feed yourselves. Say maybe each of you 3 days or something.
And bedrolls.
Yeah, you could take some blankets from the blanket store, which could serve as bedrolls for sure.
I do have a particular one I'm fond of,
Yep,
so that'd
excellent.
be good.
Hammock.
Nah.
Okay, and then
You
we
could
burn the
skin
house
the-
down and
skin the
continue.
meal.
Oh,
We want to spend the night sleeping here out of the driving snow at least first.
yes.
Oh, it's snowing.
I thought it was the morning. After
Yeah, it was the morning.
No,
Or if we spent the whole day looking through stuff.
You've spent some time before you went to bed gathering this stuff.
Okay.
I gather.
Cool.
It wasn't actually go to sleep time. It was more like sort of 6 p.m.
Right.
Excellent.
No
You're
shields or
woken-
anything.
No shields, no. You are woken in the middle of the night by Eostra, who is moaning sickeningly and piteously.
What's strange?
Who'd like to wake up? Who would like to deal with her?
Probably me, because I don't sleep. I
Okay.
kind of commune with the dream world, and I sort of are semi-conscious, and I can wake up.
So yeah, so you hear Eostra moaning.
I go over to her and I place a hand on her forehead just to check if she's not feverish.
She is feverish.
She is.
She's clasping her stomach and rolling. The sheets are wet.
I get a cold compress. I hold it outside the window and bring it back in and
Nice.
lay it on her forehead.
She's sort of still moaning and crying out and clasping her stomach in pain, stretching her legs out, curling her toes.
I use my ability to speak mind to mind, and start to project my voice into her head as a very soothing kind of saying things like she's safe and she's warm and she's protected and to not worry. And if she likes, she can tell me where she's hurting and what she feels is wrong.
So you sense a disorientated person, someone who's freaking out and confused in foreign territory, almost like she doesn't know how to sort of manage this body that she finds herself in. And she in a moment, particular rise of pain that actually floods through the link between you, she grasps out at you and grabs your shirt and presses her head into your chest. and shudders and shivers.
All right, I wrap my arms around her and hold her there and wait for the ignore the pain that I'm feeling as well, and rock her and wait for the pain to subside.
If only
So-
we had a herbalist.
So,
Getting there.
sort of the night passes like that. If you're happy to sort of, you offer some kind of comfort. It's sort of tiring to you, but in the end, she does fall somewhat asleep, and everyone else wakes in the morning to see Derek's character Suno. I'm going to learn these one day, aren't I? It's so weird, brand new characters. Suno there, actually head lolled back and asleep, with Eostra sort of clawed on, holding on like a baby possum to her chest. Teeth gritted and hair matted. This beautiful, rich, curly hair, waist-length hair, actually sort of matted and dripping with sweat down her forehead and onto her shirt.
Does she? Does the fever break, or is it still there?
The fever's still there when she wakes. She looks mighty pale and sick and still aching in her stomach. But it's somewhat receded a little bit. She's very shaky when you wake up, and she has this kind of moment of recoil, realizing the indignity that she'd partaken of, and she tries to sit up, but then she sort of grabs her stomach and lurches over and gasps.
I pause her and say, "Easy, you've had a rough night. We shall get some warm food for you. Maybe oats."
I feel terrible. It's burning in my stomach. I don't want to eat anything.
Okay. Perhaps some tea. I look meaningfully at Murray's character.
Herbal, yes.
For some tea.
Some herbal tea.
All right.
There's
I
a
can-
lovely
I can
mushroom tea.
Brew up some tea that
Something
doesn't
to calm
involve.
the stomach.
All right.
Okay, that's
Can
what
I
did.
can I offer some help?
Yes.
I'm
You know the
good with
forest?
The forest and
So give me a 75% percentile die, so 75 or below, mean you have all the ingredients for what you'd imagine to brew a calming.
Roll a
Above
15.
5 on
so
a D20.
Excellent. Okay, so you have the ingredients, but do you reckon you have something you might be able to quickly find outside? Do you, Lork, that might add to the brew and give
I
it a
think
bit
so,
of extra
yeah.
spice?
I rolled
I
a
can
21
have a
on my
go.
brewing.
Yeah.
My brewing medicine.
Ooh.
Head out into the fields surrounding. So yeah, since this is a mushroom farm, which I'll accept, mushrooms were grown in all the buildings. All the other buildings have been basically converted into tubs and boxes and logs and all the different sorts of things you need to grow mushrooms in. And the farm itself, whatever kind of farm it was before, has been neglected. And the fields surrounding have broken into wild meadows and brackeny heaths, which have then obviously died down for winter and then been covered in snow. So you can rush outside and search through the snow, pushing it aside, and see if you can find something special. Local,
yeah,
that
some
sounds
kind
fun.
of a weed or something that's got a.
I'll give you
King's
disadvantage because of the snow for sure.
Oh, is this a? What is this? a
Survival, I
nature roll?
suppose.
Survival.
Yeah, have you got survival?
I've got survival.
So Lorkel heads off into the outside, does that terrible thing where he opens the door for a moment and chill, cold wind blows into the house, and everyone's like, "Shut the door!"
14.
14. Yeah. You
It's not bad with
Local-
disadvantage, really.
Yeah.
That's not bad with disadvantage. So yeah, you do find some of this special herb. You come back proudly with it. Murray's character is already brewing something on the stove.
Perhaps add a little bit of this.
Ooh, I say. And then we make friendship brew, and we take it
love
over
it.
to
It's
a.
like ebony and ivory. Excellent. She looks very sort of suspicious, but so much of the bite has gone out of Eostra that she's almost helpless, almost unable to sit up or move, and someone has to help her sit up a little bit on the bed. And then she accepts. She's sort of powerless to eject. Accepts
Man,
the
those
tea.
mushrooms did a number on her.
They did. It's your idea.
I did not give her those mushrooms. That was all her.
I think I might say to her that I think we need to get you to your temple.
Yes, yes. They're powerful. They will help me. They will recognize me. They will care for me.
Does she know that? Like,
She's sure of it.
Yeah,
that's
how
for
do we
sure.
prepare her just in case her priests don't recognize her? Well, we'll see. We'll see.
Excellent.
And then I
Good.
turn
So
away
she
and then
drinks?
pull, and then I turn my back, and then I pull my face.
That's right. That's right.
What do you know of the burial rites for my mother, now that you are awake?
Oh,
Since you are the goddess, should we prepare anything for my mother now?
The church will know what to do. Just preserve the body. Don't let it go off. They don't like to accept. They don't like to accept off bodies.
how confident was that answer?
Oh, well,
that's
then
a
we
good
should. Sorry.
yeah, so sense motive, Nathan.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I'm going to take it as truth.
Yeah, okay,
me
good.
too. I'm very trusting.
This god hasn't been paying attention.
What is the town that we're walking towards, Ben?
I believe, give me a moment. Sorry, it is.
I left my
It's
notes
Eostrian.
upstairs. I'm sorry.
There is no sense.
Weissmere,
Weissmere.
Perception
Yeah.
roll, Nathan.
which means white sea. Someone
13.
has some vague notion of.
Yeah, or insight.
Yeah,
Oh,
insight's
insight.
probably better.
She seems straight up.
18
Straight up.
insight.
Okay. She said that the church will know, and that seems like what she believes.
But she
she's
doesn't
saying
know.
that to cover the. Perhaps she doesn't know. No.
That was more I was wanting to know how much she knew of it. He talks the talk,
Well-
but like,
I don't want to push it, but perhaps we should hurry to get my mother there as quickly as possible, because I think she's beginning to smell a little, and I'm worried that the priests may not take her if she's not of the most suitable smell.
How many
You also-
days is it?
How do I know, Ben? Have I been there or no?
You also know that it's a good long day hustling through this wood, and you don't want to be caught in the wood. No one wants to be caught in the wood.
At night.
It's a day's travel. I think the cold will protect the body from any more putrefaction, but we should nevertheless hurry because there are other dangers in the woods, and I fear that our luck may not hold out the day. Oh dear.
I'm standing out the front with my bag, just doing my final strap on my backpack, like, well, are we on our way then?
Excellent.
Yeah, I get myself ready and
So you hitch up the
Hustle out the
mule.
door.
The mule's
the
like,
mule.
where in God's name are we going on such a day as this?
I can speak with the mule.
Oh, yeah.
That's cool. The mule is almost not willing to come out of the stable then in that case.
So the the mule can't speak to me, but as a furbolg, I can speak to plants and animals.
That's cool.
They
But
can
can you
understand
understand
me.
what the mule's thinking or not? It just
No,
you can, yeah, okay,
it's
you
it's
can-
one-way communication.
That's so
but I
cool.
can say some reassuring words
It's,
and
it's
explain
fairly
what's
clear
happening.
what the mule is saying, which is there's no way in hell I'm going out in that cold. I'm quite comfortable in the stable. Thank you very much. And words. to
Is
that effect.
there
basically
is
by
there a-
kicking and spitting and biting?
is there a carrot still inside,
A carrot
or a turnip, or a parsnip?
Lovely. Yeah, parsnip for sure.
Yeah.
Also,
I
how
put it
good's-
on I tie it onto like a fishing rod and I dangle it in front of the mule.
Also,
Mule's like,
how good is the stable after John knocked it down last game?
That's true.
Better.
Not offering nearly as much protection as it was. Yes,
bit of a lean-to.
previously.
Bit
Yeah. The whole apron has gone off, so the mule already has kind of a frosty nose and little slight snow drifts on its ears.
Blame the bodies.
Come on, friend. It'll be okay. We'll come with you. We can help you. We'll do it together.
That's so gorgeous.
You should carry it, Johnny.
Yeah.
And do you give the turnip to the mule? I think it seems to want the mule.
I think
the turnip.
dangle so that it can, catch a nip. It was certainly how I got mules back across the road when they ran away from me.
Okay, yeah. In the combined kindness of the Furbolg and the cruelty of Eressa, the mule is coaxed into the snow, and once out of the shelter, there's neither here nor there where it is. So it's quite happy to pull, strong and healthy, a mule that it is to pull the cart along, laden with John's mother's. And who else was going to ride on it? Eressa was going to ride on it as well.
Eostra.
You are.
Eostra.
Yeah.
Eostra's right.
Yes,
Eostra.
you. Yeah, literally, there's no option but to haul Eostra. She puts up with it basically up onto it, and in a pile of blankets as she moans and grasps her stomach onto the back of this cart, and you make your way out of the home, the only home that Eustace has ever known.
Can I do a perception check looking around for the herbs that are missing from my herbalism kit that will
Okay,
help
as you
her
ride.
feet?
As you ride, yeah.
Yeah. So you're walking, are you, and tripping along the forest? Yeah.
I'm walking beside. Yeah.
Beside. So indeed, yeah. You travel along this very similar road, a rut in the snow, to the west.
Only getting 11.
You come to so you don't find anything. You reckon your chances are better once you get to the forest, for sure. You come yep.
Oh, sorry. As we're walking, Ben, I'm going to do another sort of interrogation and just see if there are any words that all of us pronounce differently. And starting with Weissmere, and seeing if there's any sort of cultural inflections or different, what do you call them?
Yeah, I love it. Yeah.
Accents is the word I'm looking for.
That's super
that
cool.
we have.
That's super, super cool.
That might give away our countries of origin.
Yeah.
So,
That's smart.
Eustace, you start getting quizzed, Eustace, on how you pronounce Weissmere, right? Whether it's Weissmore or yeah, that's right. And you have frequently experienced this. It's almost like a duality, like a confusion in your brain of how you say things. You pretty much so much that you just say, "Oh, I don't know, I don't care," and you stop trying.
Stop bullying me.
Yeah, that's right. You basically, if people ever question you or correct you, you sort of generally have got to the habit of basically reacting angrily. Have you been? How long have you been on here? How long since you were found on the tree?
About half a day.
Oh.
No.
No.
about probably a year, I reckon.
Yeah. So yeah, you've given up a long time ago knowing how the heck to say things.
Yeah.
Everyone else, the three of you give me insight checks. So just not Derek.
Inside 12, I think.
Oh, not me.
Nah.
14.
12.
Finding it now.
14 and 12.
15.
So the Furbolg is the one who pronounces it most differently.
Makes sense.
Yeah, like Weissmore or something like that. Like a cultural kind of thing. He does seem to and if you think about it, his language does seem most foreign, and definitely the way he communicates and his attitude to the world. He seems like he's from a very different place to Murray's character, Eressa.
I think I'm just trying to mimic what I heard.
Conform. Yeah.
Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah.
Nathan, Faradis, you get this kind of sense. You know how you had that vision before when you touched Eostra? You get the sense like there's two distinct ways that you could say the name of this town.
Yeah.
And even the thought of having to choose between them is disturbing to you and confusing.
So I say it the first way and then I say it the second way.
One certainly feels, more like a dwarvish way. And
So
another seems like something else altogether different.
So I say it both ways and then shake it off and continue to say it the dwarvish way. Or whatever the way that he said it was. So I'll say he'll say it, and then I'll say it in dwarvish, and then I'll shake it off and then say it and then say it the way that he said it. Mirror.
The way you've chosen, Eustace, Weissmere, is the nastiest sounding way, so you like it the best. And it's not the same
bad luck way.
It's not the same way that
it does seem to bring bad luck. I seem to get beaten up a lot.
It's not the way that the local bullies and dorks say it. They say it in a very kind of bogany country kind of way, like Weissmere.
Dorks.
Yeah.
Dorks.
You feel special that you say it differently.
Oh, what a fabulous
I haven't heard that word in so long.
Dork.
dork.
All right. Thank you, Ben. That was good.
That's super cool, Derek. I love it. You yourself have no idea which way is the right way to say it after that whole interview. But it seems like everyone's from different places in this land or something. You travel further. You do come to an intersection to the right, heading to the north into another forest. There's like a mountainous forest to the north of you, which you've been traveling along to the south of as you go west. You know, Eustace, that goes to some caves, which are dangerous, which the locals stay away from. You also pass on the left and right a few other farmhouses, a couple of which you know that the boys that you attacked come from. Sort of it's not so much a town center in this area. It's just a few scattered farms, poor and used every now and then for people who wish to travel northeast. Who the heck knows why they would, because the weather just gets worse and worse the further to the northeast you go. And you eventually come to the threshold of the forest itself. This dark green wood, many fir trees laden with snow, but close enough together to give some clear ground underneath them. And it's a joy to pull the mule, who gives another display of reluctance. Even though the ground is has the pine needles on it, which is nice and soft and isn't freezing. The mule senses danger and the darkness of this dark wood ahead of it. But you managed to coax it in with some nice insistence.
And some nice words from local.
That's right.
Don't be afraid. It's okay.
So who else is riding in the carriage? In the buggy?
Eostra, I think.
Eostra and the body, yeah. Okay. Cool.
To make sure that the mule doesn't get overburdened.
Yeah.
That's right.
You won't see me.
I reckon that whenever we get to a particularly difficult, uphill section or a bit of deeper snow, I'll push the cart from behind to kind of ease the load on the mule at the front.
I love it.
I think I'll probably try and get on the cart as often as I can.
Just to check. Well, you should probably check out Eostra. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah.
I've got to check she's all right.
Yeah, I guess so.
Yeah,
I think I'll just try and sneak onto it and just be on the cart occasionally and
Lazy.
just try and get a free ride.
Pushing the cart, Lorkel, hurts, of course, with your hand, which is still swollen, and that doesn't seem to be giving any sign of getting better. But I suppose the stinging nettle kind of burn will go down eventually. It's just painful.
Can we put some kind of herbal
Can I do my perception check on the herbs I need?
On it? Is that the word?
Yeah. Okay, so maybe you pull up after a little while, and maybe you push the cart, and you're just like, oh, this hurts too much, and Aressa says, "Give me a look at it." Lovely.
Okay, so that is I make survival.
Survival.
13.
Yep.
13.
And give me
survival.
that percentile die
Percentile die.
to see whether you have the ingredients.
67. Yes.
Yes, you do. Absolutely. Yeah. Okay. So you make up a poultice to try and bring the swelling down. I love it.
The healthy, mule dung of hay and freshly chewed mule.
It's awesome.
Very good.
Awesome.
Very good. Good for
Mule
drawing the heat
cud.
out. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So you push on into the forest.
Yeah.
Yep.
Believe so.
The snow, so heavy as it is out in the world above the trees, is heavy enough to come through multiple places, and though the wind is somewhat quelled by the dark tree stumps that are around you and the heavy laden foliage, it still is cold. One of the times you jump up, so you get a little bit bored of walking, Eustace, and jump up into the back of the cart, and you can tell that this girl, whatever her name was, is definitely suffering and looking paler and paler. She's clinging onto the body of your mother as if it's going to offer some warmth, but it doesn't seem to obviously be offering any comfort to her at all.
Yeah, that's a problem, because that might help start the spoilage. Oh dear, I wonder if you should scoot over a little bit and move away from my mother.
I feel so cold.
Yes, well, you are hugging onto my mother, and my mother is dead. She has no life left in her, and her body is cold.
She can give her warmth to me, what warmth she has.
I believe you are. Perhaps walking may help you.
That's true. You would warm up.
Maybe you could give her a cuddle, Eustace.
Oh dear.
That's what friends would do.
This is how
Friends like cuddling.
my whole problems began.
I don't
Me,
feel
my
very
mother, and
comfortable
someone.
with that. Oh.
You don't reach out and you reach out
I
and
do,
touch her
but
hand.
it's
Yeah.
so awkward. Like it's that.
She takes your hand,
the cringe.
and her hand is cold as and a little bit blue, and frail and beautiful as it is, but not so nice to touch.
I hope I don't catch anything off you.
It's those mushrooms. Why did you let me eat those mushrooms?
Oh, nothing stops you. You're a goddess after all. Perhaps you could use your divine power. Have you thought about that? Is this also part of your divine power, crying?
She pulls her hand away from you, and then turns around as if to cast a spell at you, or to release some sort of divine energy, and she just goes, and then nothing happens.
Oh, maybe something does if she's still under the effects of the mushrooms.
Yeah.
Now, princess. Now.
Anger makes you warm.
Yeah, you said that happens, absolutely. So you just see her turn pale, and she looks down, and she covers herself. She pulls her clothes towards herself, and then she skitters over to the other side, smearing diarrhea across the bottom of the buggy.
Welcome to role playing, everybody.
There's also blood in the diarrhea.
Terrible bad luck. I told you hugs were a bad idea.
Well, you're
We're
A-frame
two
because
sessions
you get
in and
less
we're gonna kill a
diarrhea.
goddess.
Listen, I'll tell you what. I'll tell you a secret that might make you feel a little bit better. There are flashes of memories that I had when I am close to death. Perhaps if you are close to death, you too may experience some insights into your spiritual nature. You see, I have been close to death many times in the last here many times. Perhaps you may experience some sense of your own spiritualness then. Maybe.
I know who I am. I am Eostra. I'm a goddess of...
And she just vomits out down her front.
Good.
With blood as well.
This is good. Perhaps you are a goddess of death.
I'm a goddess of light.
You're muted, Ben.
Oh.
Not in Discord.
Oh, I can't hear you.
Not in Discord? Not in
No, VMix, you're good. Sorry.
I can hear you.
You can't hear me? Everyone can
Yeah.
hear me?
No, it's the diarrhea and stuff it's kind of clogging the channel up.
So it's not just diarrhea, it's well.
Clogging.
So you get the idea.
I take her hand. and I squeeze it way too tight, and I say, "Perhaps you are a goddess of death. You've certainly brought that effect on my mother. And I'm bringing your body to the temple. I will something in her to release, as if some kind of insight into I see struggling inside of her to see if I can bring something out of her that isn't just physical excrement.
That's so cool.
I've noticed that when because and like what I said, I came into this world on a noose, and so my insights have appeared out of bad luck and terrible happenstance, and so I see everything in this idea of coincidence and terrible luck or good luck, and so I see this connection as terrible luck happening to her, and that perhaps that is a fortuitous moment for her to actually have a moment of something happen, like a climactic moment for her.
So you see you flashing before you, and you know she's seeing this too. You see a vision of you just a few months ago in this church in Weissmere, stealing offered altar offerings, and a priest of the church is raging down the aisle when he's discovered this absence and sensed you, and you've just broken cover, and you're pelting down the center aisle of this church to get out the front door, laden down with bread and wine and grapes. And then suddenly you turn around, and the priest is suddenly not this pompous middle-aged man with gray hair and fancy white robes and gold braid, but he's for an instant this raging it fills the entire space, this incredibly powerful deity, this image of a deity at least, Eostra in her full glory,
being herself,
radiant robes, being herself, her curly hair flailing out, light beaming, and her mouth opening in a song, a beautiful searing song of beauty but great rage. And you trip, and this is not how you remember it. You certainly remember the priest coming after you and the need to get out. And you, like you did just a few months ago, you trip on a stone that's a little bit higher on the floor because this church isn't in brilliant repair. And you spray out, and grapes and a piece of bread and the bottle of wine shatters on the floor of the church. And you drag yourself to your feet as fast as you can, and you leg it out of the door, crashing into an acolyte who's just coming in. And as you just turn to take one more glance, you see the priest once again, just as a man, burst out the front door and shout sort of, profanities and trying to resist being too rude, because he's a priest, but stuff that is rude as you just bolt off away from this church. And her eyes widen, and she starts to form some words, but then they're blocked. What were you saying?
No, you go. You say.
That's what she did. Yep. She's like, as if she's going to say you.
I yank her forward and whisper into her ear the pronunciation for her name in her accent. Ooh. Rather than in my own. So in her native accent that I hear her voice in.
That's so cool.
As if one of her followers would say it.
That's super cool.
Welcome to role playing. Putting Ben on his feet for random.
That's right. That's
role
super
playing.
cool. At that moment, as if on cue, but probably not. There's pealing thunder in the distance.
You guys are being attacked.
Roll for initiative. Yeah.
A rumor as appears.
The lemon tree.
Role playing. And then there's appears. That's right. There's just
Combat
crackles
time.
and rolls of thunder, and the earth maybe it didn't tremor, maybe it did tremor. You can feel it through your feet, Local, the best, because you're attuned the best to nature. You seeing beyond the natural realm into the dream realm, Suno, you just see some flickers of darkness. Well, maybe it's light chasing darkness, like little nymphs of power. Wisping between the trees just for a moment as they almost... Is it playfully or is it aggressively? The darkness
In the
is hunted.
forest?
In the forest, yeah.
I pursue.
It's more like a vision and a fading of your sight. And then before you can even properly focus on it, everything goes back to what it was before.
Yeah, I sort of take 3 running steps towards the forest and the trees, and then kind of try and track it and shake my head and try and figure out if it was real or a dream, and maybe there's no difference.
At least she looks a bit better, John. She looks like she's not so desperate now, and she wipes her almost in defiance, keeping her eyes pitched on you. She wipes the vomit from her mouth. She's got like slightly disturbing, stringy bits of blood in it, which are sort of starting to set on her hand.
Very goddess-like.
Against her white skin. Very goddess-like, that's right. At that moment, everyone give me perception checks.
2! Yeah!
Ooh, 17.
I got a 22.
Wow.
Ooh.
I got a
Joe,
That's because you took 3 running steps. You're further ahead.
Yeah, that's true.
So you hear that. Wolves.
The howling.
Yeah.
I walk back slowly backwards.
Yeah,
to
you're 3 steps ahead.
Yeah.
the cart and say, I believe we have company. And let us
Arm
urge
yourselves!
this mule to go faster.
I pull out my sword.
Pull out your sword. You're standing there in a forest. It's hard to see. Eyes peeled, trying to catch a sight if there's wolves out there.
I've got dark vision.
Got dark vision. Yeah, you're not seeing anything.
It's daytime, isn't it?
It is daytime. It's darkish in the forest, I suppose, is what he's claiming.
He said it's dark, you can't see anything. Yeah, I can. I'm a dwarf.
Well, no, it's just too many trees. You know when there's trees and eventually they cancel out all lines of sight possible into the forest, just like you can see in Johnny's background.
Or yours.
Or if there are wolves, they're being discreet or hidden, or they're maybe white in a snowy background. Maybe you see something. You know, it's enough to chill your heart and send a shiver of nerves. Perhaps getting the hell out of this forest might be a good idea as soon as possible.
Have we got any more parsnips?
Yes, we urge our
Oh, you just need to tell.
4-legged friend.
Yeah, I think telling the mule that he will be safe outside. I think if we were able to tell him in some capacity, that, you know.
We must get out of this forest, and quickly.
The mule consents, and after considering returning backwards, you're already a fair chunk into the forest.
Succeeded on her perception check too.
That's right. It's like, there are wolves. I don't want to be in here.
Yeah.
That's right.
Surprisingly, fear of wolves is one of her characteristics.
Yeah.
Funny thing
Racial
about
traits
mules
of a
is they're
mule.
like really sedate, and they'll just like mope around, and
Yeah,
then when you leave the
probably.
gate open like this much, that's when they learn to gallop. And you're like, who the hell knew that could move that fast? Because my God, that was quick. And I couldn't shut it in time. And you're like, what? And then I disappeared for 3
That's
hours,
right.
and Ray had no idea where I'd gone, and I was trying to get the mules back from across the road.
That is amazing.
Which is where the root vegetables came in handy.
That is cool. Is this on Greek islands?
Oh no, this was in England. This was
That's
cool. They'd rescued a couple of mules and donkeys.
Yeah.
It was my job to muck them out every day. So, and on the first day of the job, I lost them and let them get out of there. Let them get out of the paddock. Oh, dear, oh dear.
And that's how you became a historian.
That's right.
That's why I stayed a historian.
Did you know wombats can run faster than Usain
They can
Bolt?
book it.
I've got video of a wombat charging in the wilds of Tassie. Just amazing how fast they can go.
Thank you, lucky stars. It's ravenous wolves and not a wombat.
Can I say that'd end D&D? It's like, what did you run into? A giant wombat. What happened? Well, dead.
Imagine one of those
Everybody
wombats.
dead.
That's right. That's right.
Mind you,
Yeah.
imagine a dire wombat like the old dinosaur wombat. That would be
8 foot long. And
Should we take a
7
break
foot
if
tall.
we're on wombat time?
Yes.
No, well-
Let's take a break.
Yeah.
You
Wombat
basically
break.
leg it. You start to hustle through the forest.
like wombats.
You pass a turn to the right that heads off to the north, but you do know that you are following the sign to Weissmere, which has a little sign as well. And yeah, you're
Weissmere.
through the forest, and we shall return when the wolves make themselves known. It's going to break.
Ooh. Also,
Beautiful.
that's like a hit.
When the wolves.
I know. It's almost inevitable.
How? All right. See you soon, guys.
Lovely.
Bye.
Bye.